Greetings, everyone. It's Monday night. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome back to the Hudson Valley Squares. Tonight's rant is all about really bad song covers. Okay, cover songs that are pretty damn bad. The original was pretty good or great. The cover not so great. So we've got here many of the usual suspects. To my left, I think, is Ryan Skow. Down below, we got Nick Franco, Stephen Keeler, and Chris Allo at the bottom of the pyramid. Welcome, everybody. How you doing, guys?
Doing good, Pete.
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Cool. So I asked everybody to go and scour their memory banks, the internet, their collections, and find as many bad cover songs as you can find. We're going to try and cram as many into here as we possibly can. I'm giving everybody the option to talk as much or little about each of their picks as possible. And if we feel a part two is warranted, we'll do that next week or the week after. So let's just go to the top, to the bottom, and back up to me. So Ryan, Nick, Steve, Chris, and then back to myself, and we'll do it all over again. So Ryan, you start.
All right, just real quick, I broke this into two ways. It was good bands that have done, just great bands that have done crappy covers. And the other half of it was just terrible bands doing terrible covers because everything they do is garbage. So I have a big list here, so I don't have any double up with anybody. So I'm gonna pick the first one is Five Finger Death Punch, everyone's favorite band here, especially you, Pete. You love them. And they did a terrible cover of the song Bad Company by the band Bad Company. They made it this pro-military, whatever, obviously.
I don't know. Was it pro-military? I didn't get into it now. I thought it was awful. I was exposed to that band. I was exposed to that band by that song, and that was my pick for the night. I told Pete that the other day. I can't think of anything but them butchering Bad Company right now because
the video. I mean, the sentiment is fine, but the cover of the song is.
I butchered it.
They really tore it up.
I mean, people love it, though. I mean, look at the Spotify hits that song has. It's like their third search song. And Five Finger Death Punch, which is, as much as we dislike them, they are one of the more popular metal acts in the States right now, playing arenas. And people seem to love that song. How many people that like that song may not even know it's a cover?
Well, there you have it, right?
Good point.
And it's a bad cover, in my opinion, a very bad one.
A bad company cover. It's a bad company cover. Bad. It's bad to the bone.
That's a good choice. All right, Nick, what do you got?
So I'm going way back. As we all know, I'm a big hater of anything nu metal. And when nu metal first came out, I hated it. And then after it was out for a little while, I still hated it. And now that it's irrelevant again, I still hate it. Limp Bizkit on their very first album. And I didn't realize this. I had my eye on another Limp Bizkit cover. But back in 97.
They do a couple.
Back in 97, when they put out it was $3 Bill, y'all, they decided to do a cover of Faith by George Michael. And now I happen to love George Michael. I think the guy was fantastic, unbelievable voice. Songs we grew up with. I remember being a kid playing with Star Wars toys, listening to all the top music back then, which was great.
You were a Ram fan. I know.
I like that song, Faith. And, I think George Michael is one of the best voices ever. And this locker room moron, I don't even know what to call Fred Durst. Even the video, I look back that they made a video about it. And he's just standing there like doing this, like, bro.
That's how he got famous doing that.
A classic 80s pop tune, give it the dignity it deserves, but he can't do that because he can't even hold a goddamn note. It's awful. It's a butchery. It's like some drunk guy at a party decided to stand up and sing Faith. I hate it so much.
I do. It's terrible.
We might be revisiting Limp Bizkit again during this segment.
I was going to say, I got a couple on my list.
Yeah, they have a couple, right?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with them enough to know that they have bad covers.
Oh, you'll know it when we cover it, Steve. Don't worry.
With the exception of a couple, I mostly did shit bands covering great songs because that bothers me more than anything else.
Well, yeah, that's what we were kind of looking for. I think Pete was kind of looking for that, I guess.
So yeah,
what do you got? What do you got, Steve?
Well, Scout took my number one pick. My number two pick is from one of my favorite bands in the world, and it's Deep Purple doing Roadhouse Blues was that the last Deep Purple album? Not the newest one, from the one before, correct?
Yeah, that was from the one before. Yeah, that was from
And,
Infinite. Yeah.
It was just, why waste the space? I don't know what Ian Gillan and the guys were thinking, that this was going to, it's of course a song that everybody covers. At every bar band or whatever, go out and see a bar band and or something. Everybody covers the Roadhouse Blues, but I don't know. They just did not do it justice.
I absolutely agree with you, and I don't know why. I would have much rather heard another new song on that very fine album. That's awful. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's a great choice. I didn't even think of that one.
I thought you would have that one here, because I remember you kind of ranting about that when that album came out.
I know. I forgot all about it.
Album, except for what were they thinking in that one?
Yeah, I forgot all about it. It's a great show. I'm glad someone picked it. So very cool. All
I
right,
actually want to hear it now.
yeah, I don't know if you want to really.
I like bad movies, so I probably like bad covers as well. So
There you go. Yeah, it's just
The
it's
last
not
two-
very
and the-
inspired. at
The
all.
last two Deep Purple albums I like. I like the last two a lot. I like the new one a lot too.
Yeah,
But that was definitely a filler that didn't need to be popped in there.
yeah, I agree. All right, Chris, what do you got?
mine is also one of my all-time favorite bands. It's a head scratcher, and like Nick said, I hated this song when it came out in 1988. I still hate it. As a kid, I was like, wait a second, like, you've got like Slayer and Metallica are pretty much, the Megadeths of the world are pretty much ruling the metal world. And here we have Judas Priest, and they cover a Chuck Berry song.
And they
Which
butchered the hell out of it.
Unfucking believable. It's so horrendous. I mean, I always hated the song. I saw the video today for the first time in 30 years, and I was like, oh my God, this is just terrible. I mean, of course, the only reason they did it was because they fucked up by refusing to put a song on the Top Gun soundtrack. So then they were just ready to jump in bed with any other movie producer that was coming around with an offer. So the Johnny B. Good movie, which nobody remembers anyway, they did it. But
I didn't know that.
yeah,
I didn't
it's
know
Johnny B. Good is like a teen sex comedy with Anthony Michael Hall. And that big tie-in for Priest, yeah, that never happened because that movie bombed. The song sucks. I hate it. They did a video, God knows why. So
Yeah, I can't believe there's a video that exists.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it, and that's I think that's the only video they even did off the Ram It Down album.
And the Ram It Down tour, it's a tour that played Orange County Fair Speedway.
Yeah, I was at that show, and the tour was good.
I
But,
think they actually played Johnny B. Good live, didn't they?
I don't think so.
Oh, maybe we were. I was probably. It's a long time ago, but
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Skow got my number, one of my picks, and he got my other picks. So I'm almost out of picks. I'm going to think of something.
Well, you'll
else.
think of stuff, Steve. You'll think of
Hang
something.
out and moderate, I guess. I thought it was like last week's rules. 2 things, like it's 2 songs last week. I figured it was 2 songs this week. I didn't go deep.
That's all right. That's all right.
No.
So I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna give away my final one right now because I don't want anybody else to steal it for one. Because it's so bad. It's so bad. It's great, and I'm actually gonna give you a 2-for-1 deal here. So William Shatner has been releasing music albums for a while now.
I love those albums.
I know where this is going.
You love those albums? Oh.
I love those William Shatner albums. I think they're good. I find them very enjoyable.
Oh my God. Anyway.
You're the one guy.
Yeah, I'm the heel.
What's the
So I'm going to give you 2 here. So the first one is Space Oddity by David Bowie. Ground Control. It's major, Tom. I mean,
So bad.
but the worst, the absolute worst is Bohemian Rhapsody.
I didn't know we did that. Holy
Yeah, I
shit.
don't think I heard that.
I don't
I thought
know
you were gonna
about
say
that
Rocket
one, I
Man.
don't think.
It
I
is
thought you were going to say Rocket Man.
beyond horrible.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
It is so bad that it's great because
I
it's so it's legendary bad. I mean, he's trying to do like the high pitched vocals and the talking and all. It's an abomination.
Was that the album from like 2 or 3 years ago?
I don't even remember. I don't know. I was just
I mean,
I knew he did
I
some bad
actually
ones, and I
have
looked.
those, yeah. I actually have those songs on the playlist at Rock Fantasy. They play all the time on it.
Wow.
But I
Oh,
also
boy.
have, and
Better,
please,
better you
no-
than me,
no
Steve.
one- no one picks this Pat Boone in a metal movie because I think those are the best things ever.
Oh, I love that Pat
I
Boone
love
record. I
Pat
bought
like
it.
Boone in
that
a
on
metal
plenty.
movie.
I'm
I
not picking
bought
that.
that Pat Boone record from Rock Fantasy. I love that record.
So
I
I
have
guess
no
that's why
problem
I
with
don't
Pat Boone at all.
really, that's why I really don't dislike the William Shatner stuff because I think it's kind of tongue in cheek.
Well, I get that. I get
It's
it.
not
And I love
it's
him.
not like
But
Five Finger Death Punch coming out and going, "We're the baddest ass band around."
yeah, I don't know. I love William Shatner, but man, he's just like butchers some of these songs. It's just, and I get it. It's supposed to be kind of a goof, but I secretly think he takes this pretty seriously. And it's just like, oh, really?
I just got solicited for Shatner Christmas coming out this year.
Wow.
I need that in my life.
All right, back to the top. Ryan, what do you got?
All right, I'm also gonna go with my number one pick because I don't want anybody to steal it. This is a band I have not liked at any point in their career, even though they've been on a major label for like 20 years now. They put out a ton of albums. They have 4 full albums worth of covers. Every cover is garbage. The band is 6 Feet Under.
Whoa!
They did an entire album of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest covers. So this is like almost like pick a number out of a hat, which cover. But the worst one is Chris Barnes, whose voice is just shot. He never sounded good. I don't think he sounded really good in Cannibal Corpse. That's my opinion. But he did The Evil That Men Do, and I'll do a 2-for-1. He also did Stranger in a Strange Land. So to hear him sort of grunt through those Bruce Dickinson classics.
They gotta be bad. I don't think I've heard those. I've heard they do with AC/DC ones.
It is just YouTube it. You won't be able to get through it without laughing. It is so bad. Terrible. I wanted to do that so nobody else could steal it. But every cover they've done. They did A Dangerous Meeting by Merciful Fate. They did the entire Back in Black album by AC/DC. Terrible. Why?
They have a lot of covers.
They have done a lot of covers, and they're all.
They do always make me laugh. I always thought it was kind of tongue in cheek, so they always crack me up, like Blackout and Scorpions, and.
I'm surprised those albums were not popular enough to keep doing them.
Yeah, they've done 4. It's the band just is like a cover band, so that the music part's fine, but it's his vocals. You have to YouTube it if you haven't heard his newer covers.
I've heard. Like I said, I've heard a couple of them, of course.
It is something to behold.
I don't remember ever listening to the one with Judas Priest. I might have just said, "Oh no, that's not happening for me."
He did a couple Priest covers too that are just terrible.
Yeah.
I love the name of that record though. It's all Priest and Maiden covers, and the name of the record is The Number of the Priest.
That's the best thing about it. Is that
That
Great
one's
title.
way off my radar. When did that one get released?
a couple of years ago.
A couple years ago.
Must have been way under the radar for me.
I see what they did there.
All right, Nick, you're up.
Yeah. So, but so I'm going to go with. I forgot that this existed. There's another pretty popular metal band out there. They've been around since the '90s called Children of Bodom, and they were one of those bands that to me they started off hot. I liked their first 3 albums. Really good guitar stuff, melodic death metal, a lot of guitar solos, and they were pretty entertaining. And then they just turned into the same shit sandwich that like In Flames did. They just became.
I don't know if it's as bad. It's not as bad as In Flames, but yeah.
No, it's not as bad as In Flames, but
No.
I just find them completely uninteresting.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, at some point they decided to cover "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears.
Oh God, yeah, it was awful.
Yeah. Now I read a little interview with him about it just to refresh myself, and he was doing it like as a tongue-in-cheek sort of like, well, I can do, it's more metal to do something that nobody expects, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do it well. Instead, you sound like an angry 10-year-old. I mean, it's
a drunk angry 10-year-old.
I said on this channel that I love Lady Gaga, but I don't like Britney Spears. That's real bubblegum pop crap, and they make it even worse and more horrible than I could possibly imagine.
I'm going to YouTube this. I did not know this existed until.
Oh, it's bad.
I remember when that came out.
It's clearly a piss take. I know it's a piss take, but then he defends it. He's like, "No, I think we did a good job," and it's like, "Shut up, dude." Yeah.
Nick, do you know the only reason why I didn't pick that song, because that was the first thing I thought of, is because the original sucks too.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's like they both suck. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother with it. But but it's terrible. I mean, it's absolutely as bad as the original is. Like,
Yeah.
It's really
Right.
bad.
But I'd
like
rather
I'd
look at
rather
Britney
listen to that.
Spears than Alexi Laiho.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pretty rough.
Steve,
Is it my turn again?
It's your turn if you found one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one for you. And I think a lot of people in the metal world love this. As far as I know, a lot of kids I know, when it came out, loved it. Killswitch Engage doing Holy Diver.
I was gonna pick that, Steve. You took that from me.
I can't. I don't even listen to it today. I haven't heard it in years.
It's
There
terrible.
was a million like kids that were like loving that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do love it, but I just not for me.
I met a couple people that don't even know it's a cover. It's just one of those
Well,
songs.
that happens with a
Oh,
lot of
sure.
material we're talking about, especially bands that we're going back to. If you want to pull up covers from like classic rock bands, I mean, I have customers that come in my store that don't even know Led Zeppelin's a band or Pink Floyd. What is that? Is that a band? So let's go with this. Someone hears something new and they have no idea. No idea.
I thought the internet was supposed to let people know information instead of
You're too
blocking them.
lazy to look it up.
Yeah, it should be a gateway. If kids
Yeah,
listen to, yeah,
I've
if
got
kids listen
another
to
one
Holy
for next
Diver,
time around. I'm going to be able to do another round.
That
if
cover is
kids,
terrible. That's a good choice, Steve. That is a very, very
Yeah.
bad.
And it might be a little controversial because I knew a lot of people who liked it. And they're like, oh, this is, and I've actually seen people that say it was better than the
Those people are, how do we say, they're wrong. Those people are wrong.
wrong. Wrong. Like what's
wrong.
wrong.
All right, Chris, what do you got?
All right. Again, another one of my favorite bands. I think I'll have to, for the next round, next time, I'll have to look for more bands I don't like. But I was going first with bands that I love. And man, I love Slayer, but I absolutely hate their cover of Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild. I
don't know
it's-
if I ever heard it.
It's completely unnecessary.
I mean, every band has done that song, right?
Yeah,
Every
it's
band.
it's just terrible. Tom's just croaking through it. They changed some of the lyrics. It's just
What
awful.
album when was that covered by them?
There's a NASCAR album that's like all
Really?
yeah, it's sometime in must be like 2002 or 3.
Okay, yeah, that one blew by me on the radar. Also, yeah.
It's all the original lineup. So I think Lombardo came back in like 2002 ish.
Okay.
But it just sucks. I just hate it, and it's just, to me, it's completely pointless.
That's when NASCAR was trying to reach into the metal
Yeah.
crowd, I guess.
Yeah, I bought the record specifically to have that cover. I hadn't heard it, and then when I heard it, I was like, oh, I'm like, there's
NASCAR uses Metallica, give me fuel, give me fire. I mean, that commercially
Right.
for a long time. Yeah.
Oh.
That was one of Scow's favorite songs. See, Scow made a funny face, and I thought he got so excited. Give me fuel, give me fire.
Mm-mm.
All right, so I want everybody to write down my next pick because if you haven't heard it, it's just so bad you
Get your
have
pen
to.
out. Look at that. I got
Yeah.
my pen.
So there is I think she's Japanese, a Japanese singer named Wing, like the wing of a bird. And she does all sorts of covers, and she does a lot of AC/DC covers. She does Back in Black with just her vocals and like a really cheesy, like little Casio keyboard. And it sounds like someone is like squeezing and killing a chipmunk. She's got this high-pitched, really annoying voice, and it's just like nails on a chalkboard, and she just like talks through the whole song with this really ridiculous little keyboard thing doing all the guitar and everything like that, and it's absolutely dreadful. And I get it, maybe that's a thing in certain parts of the world where you do covers of famous rock songs from but and you do, yeah, I don't know, it's horrendously bad, but it's so bad it's just hysterical. So,
Wow.
yeah, she does a whole bunch of them, but I thought Back in Black was like one of the worst I had heard, so I had to bring that up.
I'm gonna listen to that one. I'll look that one up.
Let me know what you think. It's pretty funny. You won't be able to watch the whole thing. I guarantee you that. But
I'll get as far as I can.
All right, Ryan, back to you.
All right, so somebody mentioned David Bowie before. I was doing some research for this, and oh boy, did I find a David Bowie cover that is, the guy is turning in his grave like a rotisserie right now. The wonderful 90s band that everybody loves called Smash Mouth decided to bless this earth with a cover of Under Pressure, which I only heard about 3 hours ago. And I wish I could go back in time and smack myself for that, because they, I mean, Smash Mouth is garbage. Everything they ever did, you know, Stupid Monkeys cover, Shrek, yeah, whatever. But this song is just, oh my goodness, because the original is amazing. The original Bowie song is great, and they really stuck a freaking pitchfork in that. Oh my goodness, it is trash. I don't recommend anybody YouTubing that. Look it up.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to. There's some songs that you just should not touch, right? And that's one of them.
You'll be better off going the rest of your life without ever hearing Smash Mouth. David Bowie. That's my third one.
I actually saw them in concert once.
Smash Mouth.
Our condolences.
Yeah.
My condolences.
I was with some girl and she dragged me to it, and yeah, that was pretty bad. I don't think they did Under Pressure, but yeah, I could see that being like awful.
Did they do the Monkeys cover that they're famous for?
Oh, sure. And it was the lamest thing I'd ever seen. They brought up a bunch of little kids and brought them on stage, and the singer, the chubby singer, was doing his Shrek dance with the kids. It was fucking terrible. And it was a Great Adventure, no less.
I had to read something real quick. Who played at Great Adventure? What kind of concert do you go to Great Adventure, Chris?
He just told
Smash
you.
Mouth.
Somebody dragged him too.
I remember listening to the new Morbid Angel on the way down with this girl to the Smash Mouth show, and like right away I'm like, yeah, this relationship is not going to last.
Hopefully you got on some rides at least.
Yeah, a couple.
All right, Nick, back to you.
So as you guys know from me speaking a few videos back about Dolores O'Riordan, the Cranberries, her beautiful voice, that woman is royalty to me. And obviously the song Zombie is one of my favorites, iconic song of hers. And some horrific newer rock group called Bad Wolves covered Zombie a few years ago. And the song was released like only a few days after Dolores O'Riordan died. And I won't judge them on their timing. I mean, the band itself didn't like that they released it at that point. But if you're going to seriously cover a song with her beautiful voice, you cannot have some Hot Topic bro like Jim voice. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just that typical American garbage rock sound. And they,
Monster Energy ready to go.
Yeah, well,
Monster Energy.
Guilty, but yeah.
There it is.
But the YouTube, I'm looking at it right. 343 million hits on YouTube, and you know,
that's a lot of hits. That's a lot of
hits. But I always say it: popularity does not equal quality.
That's
and
right.
That is a mathematical. That's right up there with Newtonian laws of physics.
It's the law that we don't hear about, but it's true.
Yeah, it's just bad. It's bad. I mean, if it makes a whole bunch of kids discover the Cranberries, great. I'm sure it won't, as we said before, because kids are like, oh, you know, they don't think anything exists before 2005. But you know, it's just terrible. It's effing terrible.
If I remember, Nick, didn't I read something though that she was supposed to be on that cover?
Yeah, and they did dedicate any money they made from it to her 3 children. So I mean, I don't want to sit here and slander the guys themselves and their intent. I don't know them. They seem like nice guys, and it did seem like they had the right intention. I do believe she was supposed to partake in it with them.
That's what I kind of remember reading. Because you're right, the timing was very suspect.
Yeah. But so I don't think I don't even want to touch their thought process behind. They're probably the nicest guys in the world. To me, you're going to do that song, and great for them to dedicate the proceeds to her children. But it's just bad. And we're just talking about the quality of the music. You get a hire a female singer or something. A guy can't sing that shit.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, unless you're going to do some death metal Cookie Monster vocals.
Right.
I wouldn't hear that either on that song. But
No, I wouldn't either.
Find something, Steve.
Back to me.
Yep.
I'm going with Metallica, butchering what I think was one of the a great song by Skinner. Tuesday's Going, and I do not like Metallica's way of doing it. So
It's true. I was debating between that and I actually had another old new Metallica song, but their old covers were great and the new covers are not great.
That's absolutely true.
That's
Yeah.
true.
every time I hear that, it's like, who the hell is singing the Skinner? And it's like, oh, it's Metallica. It's
Well,
like,
Hetfield with all the yeahs. He's adding a yeah for like every
Ah.
verse.
No good. All right, Chris.
My next one, Pete, is kind of like your last one. With your, it sounds something similar to your artist Wing. There's a band in Europe. I don't know where they're from, but every time I see one of their videos, the term "kill it with fire" just pops into my head. And I don't know if they have originals. I don't want to know. But the band is called Van Canto, and it's like 5 dudes and a chick. And there's no instruments at all other than the drums. So they all just make noises where there would be guitars and bass and keyboards.
What?
And then they also take turns singing.
sounds horrible.
This sounds
It's
terrible.
fucking horrendous.
Where's
they
my
do-
next pick?
That's it. I mean, there's no guitars, there's no bass. They just whoa, 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 whoa. They just make funny noise and they dance around, and like it's awful. I mean, it's so terrible.
Was
And,
it
like,
Van Canto? Is that what they're
Van
called?
Canto was the name of the band.
I
Like
didn't
the one particular is Kings of Metal from Manowar.
Cannot mess with that.
I don't need to hear that.
From Nightwish, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
best is Fear of the Dark from Iron Maiden. I mean, it's so fucking horrendous, and I don't see the point. Like, let's do heavy metal, but let's take out all the guitars and bass, and let's just make noises over it. With yeah, cool. I'm in a metal band. Oh, what instrument do you play? Oh, I play guitar with my mouth. I just make guitar sounds. It's terrible.
That's how I do it.
Play guitar.
So, anything
I
but
never
this
tried
band.
Oh, Jimmy Hendrix played guitar with his mouth once.
I'm gonna have to go look that up. This sounds too good to be true, right?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm
Oh,
looking up
thank
after
you.
we're done with this.
All right. Well, let's see. What am I going to pick from here? All right. How about this one? Cold Chamber and Ozzy doing "Shock the Monkey" by Peter Gabriel.
Oh,
That was a terrible cover.
I don't
Good
have to
choice.
hear that.
It is awful.
I
First of
remember
all,
hearing Ozzy
Okay.
do that. Actually, it's on one of those. It's on one of his. I know what album that's off. That's that one that came with the box set, right?
I think so.
Is
Yeah.
that where he
I
was
thought
doing?
it was on-
He,
I thought it was on the Cold Chamber record. I mean,
Is
it
it
could
on
be
the
on
Cold-
hold.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where it came from.
I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
Wherever it's from, it's bad.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. I mean, first of all, they don't really do anything different with the song itself, right? They just added some like industrial and gothic elements to it. But then you got like every time Ozzy sings, and I love Ozzy, but he sounds awful on this. And he's trying to sing like Peter Gabriel. And if you watch the video, they do these ridiculous close-up shots of his face. It's not good at all. It's just absolutely embarrassing. And you don't get any of the Cold Chamber flavor on this at all. It's just why did you guys
never
bother?
a cold chamber guy, so I don't know what the flavor was.
It's no good. No good.
But Sharon Osbourne was managing them at the time, so I'm sure that was the.
Oh,
Pulling the puppet
you
string.
you
There you
don't
go.
say. You don't
Yeah.
say, Chris.
She's probably like, hey, I'll sell some records for you. I'm going to put Ozzy on your new record.
Yeah, why not, right? Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Peter Gabriel.
No good. All right, we got 7 minutes. Let's squeeze as much as we can. And Ryan, you got another one.
All right, so first time on the show, I get to actually take a shit on Nickelback. Haven't had a chance to do that yet. It turns out that Nickelback do a horrible cover of "Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting" by
Yeah,
the
they
great
do.
John.
Ah.
The original, obviously, is a 70s rock classic, great song. And Nickelback took that and they just stuffed it in the meat grinder and just turds come out, and it is bad.
It is no
good.
I'm sure it is. I
Light,
probably heard it once.
Crap.
You don't need to hear it more than once, Steve. Yeah, that's
No,
once is
I'm
enough.
sure I heard it before.
Nickelback. So what were you expecting? And it's obviously like a polished turd, but it is bad because
Yep.
that's actually a good song as opposed to all their originals. It's the only Nickelback cover I could find, but
There you go.
they took care of it.
Nick, you got a quick one.
Yeah, I'm going to attack a song that I bet you a lot of your listeners and a lot of people like. I'm going to go attack Marilyn Manson again. the Eurythmics when they covered "Sweet Dreams." I love that song. That's a song I grew up with. Freaking fantastic. Annie Lennox, awesome. And I think he ruins it by trying to do that weird whispery vocal, like wavery voice shit and slow it down. Slowing it down and talking like a creep doesn't make something good. It's just, I don't know why everybody likes it. I hate it.
Yeah, you might get outvoted on this by a lot, actually.
That's fine.
I agree with you, Nick. Original's great, and the cover is not good. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yep.
I don't want to listen to Marilyn Manson moaning and groaning and whispering for 5 minutes over a classic song.
Yeah,
That's
totally. Came out a long time ago, but terrible.
It did. Back in the 90s.
It was a big one for him too.
It was, yeah.
A big video and everything, and it was still trash.
I hated it. Well,
Steve, you got another one?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Cool.
Didn't we skip Chris?
No, he's after you.
Oh, we did. Okay. I'm going with Babymetal doing Breaking the Law.
I can't even imagine.
That's a bad one.
I mean, Skow, I think I got you beat. I'd rather listen to Nickelback do Elton John than Babymetal do Priest.
I have to agree with you on that. I would also.
Suddenly Nickelback's not
I
so
mean,
bad.
they also do Painkiller, so we can put a double header, and Rob Halford is actually.
Rob Halford sings on that cover.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good choice. That's a bad cover.
That's right. Chris.
All right, real quick. Great band that got back together in the late 80s. Dark Angel. They had a new singer. And I don't know why they did an awful, awful cover of "Immigrant Song" from Zeppelin. It's loud, super fast. The vocals are just shit. I don't understand. Like, what the fuck were you guys thinking? It's terrible. And yeah, I think it's off the Leave Scars record. I think.
Yeah, you're right. Leave Scars.
I think Leave Scars does not heal, but whatever it is, it's a fucking like a awful cover. And yeah. Yeah, if you like terrible covers, you should listen to that.
Another one of the songs that doesn't need to be covered.
Nope.
Yeah, like for what? I mean, everybody, Led Zeppelin was like massive in 1989, but why would Dark Angel cover Zeppelin?
No.
Yeah. Just like, why should REM cover Toys in the Attic?
Oh,
I don't know that.
You don't want to know it. All right, whiny modern rock cover of a 70s hard rock classic. I mean, yeah, I don't like REM to begin with. I don't like REM even more when they're trying to cover Aerosmith, right? It's just, just absolutely no good.
A weird one.
Yeah, no good. I never even knew they did it. And it's like, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
I'll have to listen to that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that one down.
So who picked the Limp Bizkit one before? Was that you, Ryan?
Me.
No, it was not me.
It was
me. Yeah.
So how about their cover of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who?
I say that.
That was actually, I was just looking at a Rolling Stone article of bad covers, and that was the #2 worst cover song ever rated by Rolling Stone.
Really?
Wow. What was number one?
Number 1 is Miley Cyrus doing "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Oh, I never heard of that one.
No, I didn't either. And number 3, I'm interrupting you. Number 3 was Madonna doing "American Pie." Number 4 was Sheryl Crow doing "Sweet Child of Mine." And number 5 was Britney Spears, "I Can't Get No Satisfaction." I don't think I've heard any of them.
No, I haven't heard any of those.
Do we want it?
I stand in awe. I stand in awe.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on Chris here. Chris took a great 80s thrash band with a crappy cover. So I'm just pulling this one out of a hat. Coroner from Switzerland, loved them. First couple albums are amazing. They put out Punishment for Decadence, which is a great album, like kind of technical thrash back in the, I think, 88 or 89 that came out. And there is a totally pointless cover of Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix on that.
Yes, I remember that. Totally forgot about that.
I remember that album. Yeah, I used to listen to that all the time because
The album's amazing.
you're going to hear that song.
Yeah.
Like you can skip over it.
And the covers, unfortunately, it's the last song, and it has no reason to exist. And I think on Mental Vortex, they did a cover of "I Want You, She's So Heavy" by the Beatles, which also good album. The cover has no reason to exist. It's silly. But Coroner were fucking awesome about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that was a cool band.
Played
So that's a lot of
Middletown.
bad covers, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of bad covers. And if we decide to do a part 2, there's a lot more. So we'll see what
Plenty more
everybody
material.
thinks. I didn't even get to talk about Ace Frehley's new covers album, right?
No.
Oh.
We'll save that
Not
for
good,
part
not
2.
good.
So,
Yeah.
No, it's not good. Visit us on the web at
No, it's not good.
www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time as we're running out of time here. So for Ryan Skow, Nick Franco, Stephen Keeler at rockfantasy.com, Chris Sallow, I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you guys all again next Monday night for another round of the Hudson Valley Squares. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
We don't even mention